Oh shit! Stuff is going down! Alright, here we go, guys, apparently. Um. Ugh. This is rad. Oh my god. This is cool. I just don't even. Words. So much happening right now. He's putting in his headphones. I don't know. I don't know what to say just yet. Hang on one second. We'll figure it out. Interesting panel layout. It's a 2P panel, but it looks like they only have buttons and stick in one side. Wiping off the control panel. I would do that too before running that intensity. God, this guy is so cool. This is so cool. Hang on. Alright, and we are starting out here. That's pretty interesting. He's empty locking almost everything so far. We did the two-step empty lock on these guys, but missed it there. That's going to cost him. It's actually a pretty big source of chips that early in the stage. Still very impressive chip count for where he is, though. Wow. Above 1,000 already. Jesus. And the single bonus helicopter there. I think you can actually get two, which means that he's doing a little bit below what's theoretically possible, though for all I know he has a specific reason for doing that. If that's incorrect, please someone remind me of that in the chat. But these empty locks, what is even happening? How is he doing that? Damn. For those of you who don't play Ketsui, which I'm assuming is probably at least one of you, empty locking is kind of a trick mechanic in Ketsui where you can switch between the rapid fire shot and the lock shot, basically tapping A or holding A. And the way that the scoring system works in Ketsui, you normally build up a chip count when you're rapid firing. And that's the smaller chip count, which is below your larger chip count in the upper left-hand corner. And then that is converted into a multiplier, which is expended as you hold down the A button for lock shot. But what empty locking allows you to do is get the multiplier bonus while still increasing your chip count. Basically, if you're killing an enemy with the rapid fire exactly as you are entering a fully locked state, you get a lot of bonus chips for that, and it doesn't trigger the decrease that would normally be associated with using the why can't I fucking speak right now? The thing to do the thing. With using the lock shot to kill the enemy directly, and that's what he's doing here to like everything. And the issue with trying to do empty locking on more than just a few targets in the game is that it's very timing specific. I mean, you have to know exactly when an enemy is going to die in order to execute it properly. And of course, it does wonders for your score, assuming you can do it. But the difficulty is learning the timing for every enemy, since it is different for each individual enemy type in the game. So this is interesting. He waited until the mid-boss was all the way at the side of the screen to get the lock. My guess is that that's part of his strategy for timing this section. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So what he's going to want to do here, the background in this section will infinitely scroll, and when you kill this mid-boss, you're going to get waves of bonus enemies. The idea is to time it exactly as it's moving over that third, I guess not third, but that particular piece of ruin in the background, so you get a lot of bonus enemies, and you can see that he did right there. It has to do with the way that the position in the level is calculated. Essentially, they have a loop of that background section, which is repeated several times over and over again. And if you... Wow, that was not good. Looks like he's gonna reset this run. Basically, you have a loop of background which is repeated over and over and over again. And if you time it correctly so that you are killing a mid-boss just as that background is about to start a new loop, you get that full loop's worth of bonus enemies, but otherwise you only get a few. Hang on 1 second. Alright. Whoa. That's no good. Am I still here? 15 seconds of delay. Hear stream in sync. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Well, like I was saying, I mean, you can hear stream in sync by watching it on another channel, but I'm just gonna be, yeah. You can't hear anything. Well, that's because I don't have, I haven't muted on my end right now. Do you want me to unmute it? What I was thinking was that you guys would watch it on a separate channel and just listen to me rant about it, but I mean that works perfectly fine. So I'm just amazed by this this chip count at that point in the stage. I mean, that's very impressive. The basic strategy, at least in stage 1, and I think this carries over for most of the rest of the stages, is that you're going to want to have a high, like the lower multiplier bar, the one that only has 3 places, you're going to want to have very high before the mid-boss, and the upper multiplier bar you're going to want to have very high before the boss. And the idea is that you're going to get a high upper multiplier, you want to be locking a lot, and to get a high lower multiplier, you don't want to be locking a lot. Because the lower multiplier bar is what is used on your per lock shot multiplier, whereas the upper multiplier bar is what's used on your overall stage multiplier. So it's a trade-off between instantaneous reward and long-term reward, basically. Here, the strategy on the stage 1 boss, if you kill certain parts of it at very specific times, you can actually cancel all of its projectiles into chips, as you can see there. So what super players will do is they'll take it apart piece by piece in time with its missile barrages so that they can do that cancel to get a lot of extra chips from this boss. And the idea is you want to prolong this first form as long as you possibly can in order to exploit that trick to get as many bonus chips as you can. So I mean you can see that his counter's over 3,000 now when he entered this fight with just over 2,000. So that's a very significant point gain already. And he hasn't even really gotten into the main meat of the fight yet, so...
D'ailleurs, on va refaire un petit point sur les 3 compteurs. Oui, bien sûr. On va faire un récap. C'est vrai que c'est pas évident à connaître. 3 compteurs. Le principal duo qui est le compteur de boss qui ne diminue pas sauf contre le boss et qui sert de multiplicateur pour le boss.
Damn! 22 million off of stage 1, what the hell? That is amazing! That is amazing, alright. Wow.
Il fait que du shot pour accumuler des caisses et faire grimper le plus possible son mid compteur. Et lorsque son mid compteur sera bien fat,
There we go.
Il va y avoir une grosse nuée d'ennemis, là il va tout craquer.
So as I recently learned from Bananamatic, actually just earlier today, if you maintain your lock after destroying those turrets in this stage, they'll drop more chips a couple seconds later. Otherwise, they won't drop chips at the same value. So you would, if you would watch that again, you would notice that he was holding that lock for a couple seconds after the chips had already, excuse me, the enemy had already been destroyed, so that it would release those chips at the 5 value instead of at 1. 5 is, of course, the maximum value of chips, which you get by being essentially on top of an enemy when you kill it. I believe you have to be within 1.5 ship lengths. And there you see, again, just as it's entering that section of ruin right there, this kind of midway to the left edge of the screen. The scoring is amazing. 37 million already. With its score bonuses in Ketsui are tabulated, you have a stage multiplier at the top, which basically factors a whole bunch of different point values into and then it takes a bunch of different point values from things like your life stock, your bomb stock, and your like overall counters, and then it multiplies them by the current value of that stage counter, and then that becomes the score bonus that you get at the end of the stage. And he just hit 45 million, so we got the second score extend, which is intense. Like, how do you even do that at that point in the game? Whoa. That's aggressive. He's sitting basically directly on top of this. Wow, what? Oh, he's weakened the body just to the point of failure. Whoa! Okay, so he just streamed 5 chips off of that by timing its destruction, and it looks like he's trying to keep that other tank tread alive so that he can use it. Wow! Okay, I didn't even know that those counted as things that you could destroy. So he kept that tread alive so that he could destroy it during that attack, which then canceled those missiles into 5 chips. I didn't even know that was possible. Damn. And his counter's over 4K by the end. That's incredibly impressive. God, this is... Oh. Oh. Alright, there we go. We got a little logo in the corner now. Slightly more pro. No flash. Alright, alright. Alright, so I'll keep the volume on my side then. So. It looks like his score is over 60 million already, which is insane. So a lot of the dodges in that section are based on just leading... Whoa, what? That's wow. So he was just sitting directly on top of that that large plane, and as a result was able to kill both of its forms nearly instantly, which means that he got 2 additional bonus enemies, some larger flyers, in addition to what looked like a perfect empty lock on it. Just fucking crazy. What I was going to say is a lot of the dodges in that opening section of Stage 3 are based on leading these kind of suicide planes that come down and shoot at where you are. All they fire is a suicide bullet, so essentially what you want to be doing is killing them and then moving out of where you just were. So here, okay, he's getting 5 chips off of this ship, and then using those to kill the different boss parts. This is Vinogrado, the Stage 3 mid-boss. Oh, and this is a fun trick. Vinogrado spews out most of its 5 chips after it's actually already been... most of its chips after it's actually already been killed, assuming that you held down the lock shot, when it's in the process of its kind of secondary explosion. So what he did there was he killed it while it was spewing well, it would get 1 chips, but then he killed the battleship afterwards at close range, which triggered 5 chips on his counter, and then Vinogradov started its second explosion. And during that second explosion, since he had a 5-chip value on his current chip timer, it was all 5 chips instead of just being 1s. Wow. What? What? I have no idea why he did that. Maybe he's just showing off. That's just... oh god. Second loop's gonna be so intense. Oh man. So intense, holy crap.
C'est la partie de tous les risques et c'est un 0 faute. C'est vraiment incroyable.
So this is a trick that Bananamatic actually just taught me earlier today. If you just go on one side, you can take them out individually. Okay, this attack, I want to see how he handles it. Yeah, okay. Basically, this attack is incredibly disorienting visually, but if you just follow the blue bullets, you use them as a path, position yourself partway up the screen, stick to the left or right of those blue bullets, and then just follow them as they wiggle back and forth, you'll actually dodge the pattern automatically. The red bullets are really just there to confuse you. Watch this stage 4. This should be really interesting, because stage 4 is hard. So he's timing when he starts shooting so that he gets these, he gets kind of the maximum possible duration on his lock timer, so that he can take out all of those groups of larger enemies with lock and get maximum points from those. He's not empty locking here, at least not very much. So there he empty locked the first one, but he's holding down the lock for the rest of them. And then he's empty locked. Wow, okay. He just empty locked basically that whole group. What? Oh, dude. What is this? What is this? Okay. This is crazy. Okay. So again, he's timing his lock because you basically you have I think it's 1 full second. I could be wrong about that though. No, it's frames. It's based on frames, but it's not 1 frame. It's like 1 1/4 frames is how long it takes for the counter to decrement by 1 value. Anyway, the way that he's doing this, he's timing his initial kills of an enemy when he first gets that 5 chip, so that he gets that counter to roll down exactly as he needs to be done killing that wave of enemies. So it's just really good routing with the stages. What he just did there with Blackdraft was he actually sat like on top of him as he was about to change form, so we could just get some extra 5 chips out of that. Ah, okay. This is that same trick he used on Vinogradov, where the enemy has multiple explosions, and you get chips from both of them. So if you time it such that you're getting 5 chips during the second explosion, you get a lot more 5 chips. So you see, he didn't actually kill that thing close enough to trigger 5s, and he killed it with lock, so he should have gotten 1s. But since he immediately was able to kill another nearby tank at 5 chip value, he got full 5s from that explosion. So I'm sorry that my stream is getting intermittent. I'm just going to keep going with this, and my recommendation to you guys would be to check out the actual Stunfest stream. I'm just going to keep going with the audio commentary, and hopefully my internet doesn't crap out too much, because this is just awesome to watch. So here, he's doing that same trick again, only he's moving up really quickly on the screen so that he gets in range of those enemies up on that ridge. Here's Cinderella. Whoa, ah, crap, what just happened? Eesh. Wondering if he has some kind of crazy strategies for Cinderella. Nothing yet.
Il y a aussi le fait qu'il arrive à partie, c'est quelque chose qu'on retrouve dans Galouda 2. On a aussi ce boss avec des parties qui arrivent et qui très impressionnant. On peut faire un feu d'artifice, mais si vous arrivez dessus, vous avez juste le passage au niveau de l'ouverture de ces.
This pattern, generally, you can just kind of let it lead you where you need to go. Here he moves up and kills that thing right away. Yeah, that's what everyone does. Okay. And here he's sitting directly on top of it. Yeah, it's a little bit of a more advanced technique. I'm not surprised to see him using that. Sits below that attack. Now that's interesting. I would have expected him to go through it. This attack is relatively simple in theory. It's just this this big circular loop around the boss, but in execution it can get quite tricky because it's difficult to kind of meter your rate against the rate at which the bullets are approaching you. It seems like a very straightforward tap dodge, but it can get a little bit tricky. So here he switched from empty locking everything individually, using these kind of long combined locks, where he'll 5-chip a single enemy and then maintain the lock for a while. Interested to see how he'll handle this big plane. Interestingly, I believe the name of this large plane enemy is the Golden Bat, which I found pretty funny. I think it's a little nod to Garega there. I was looking that up on the Cave website a while ago, and that was what the translation came up with, so fun trivia. Interesting, okay. Wow. So these enemies take longer than a single full lock to kill, so what he's doing is he's dealing a lot of damage to them with one full lock at 5s, during which time he's killing other popcorn with his locks, and then he's coming back in for the kill with after 5-chipping another enemy. Here he handles the 1-up section. It can actually be a very tricky area if you don't have a good route for it, and even if you do have a good route for it, you can sometimes mess up. Oh god, that's just cruel. Okay, so that's an extraordinarily rare glitch where I think it was a glitch. I don't think he killed it. Yeah, he didn't kill it. Where the game actually launches the 1-up. One of the two 1-up helicopters. In order to get the 1-up, you have to kill that orange helicopter, and then the... Oh shit! No, no. Okay, that was super cool. Anyway, the game instead of having the helicopter stay on the screen, it flies away instantly before you have time to kill it, and it basically screws you out of getting the 1-up. Not that he really needs it, because at his level of play, I mean, you know, he's not even going to miss in the whole first loop. But still, it would be nice to have, I'm sure. Anyway, what just happened was he kept that helicopter alive on screen, dodged its attacks, and then as Trafalgar here, the mid-boss, was coming up out of the ground, he sat on top of the turret, damaged it enough, switched to lockshot, after killing the helicopter, locked onto the turret, and blew it up for a bunch of 5-chips as the mid-boss was actually coming into the screen. Just that little tiny bit of extra optimization for more 5-chips. That's amazing. This is a very familiar positioning where you get up in that corner and then move down. What I'm interested in is the fact that he's empty locking, or trying to empty lock these guys, instead of just maintaining the single lock. I'm a little bit curious why that is. It seems as though he's trying to keep his secondary multiplier, his like short-term multiplier, the lower bar, at a high value, and I'm wondering why that would be at this point in the stage since he's already killed the mid-boss. Maybe there's more high-value targets in this stage than I'm aware of. Nice management of that section. That can be a very tricky section to deal with without bombing. Here he stays directly up at the center. Wow, super close up there. Check this out. So that's actually just the second loop pattern from that enemy type. So probably old hat to SPS by now. This section at the bottom of the shaft is also one of the trickier spots of the game. Looks like his strategy is to use rapid shot on these moving turrets, then switch to lock for the airborne enemies. Oh god, he kept those alive so he could 5-chip that. Oh man, that's so tight. So there he kept that small group of popcorn alive just long enough to get 5 chips so that he could lock with 5 chips onto the first of those turrets coming down from the upper left. So this section with these mid-boss planes can be quite tricky to deal with, but it looks like he did it just fine. Ooh, right down the center. And he timed it well enough that everything just went harmlessly by, which leaves him in a better position than the corner, which is what usually happens to people during that attack. Very interesting. So this is the second section of the little mid-boss planes. And this can be very difficult because those missiles can constrict your motion a lot. In and of themselves, they're not actually very dangerous, but the way that they forward across the screen can actually be very constricting and lead to a lot of uncomfortable scenarios. But here, he's able to stay directly on top of them, keep them locked quickly, and get them out of the way before they become a real hazard. Now Ivakania. Starting to lock from the side. He's locked onto the leg. I wonder if there's an advantage to doing that. Actually, I think I know what the advantage is. I don't know if it'll pan out though. Let me just keep watching for a second. And if I'm right, I'll mention it. Nope, I was wrong. Yeah, I'm not really sure why he locked onto the leg. Maybe it's just to keep the lock from all of his options consistent at any given point in time, but... It's interesting, he was maneuvering in the plane of those rolling bombs. And I think the reason he did that is because it makes it much easier to misdirect the bullets if they're along that axis. By moving vertically, he's able to cause a much greater angle of deflection with the bullets there. So, yeah, Lolin Kut Kataha, this guy is SPS, who is the best Ketsui player in the world. Yeah! I think you... The French guys are saying it here. Or a loop! Or a loop, yeah! Welcome to Special Round. Oh! Right. How are you guys liking this so far? Is my commentary okay? I've never done anything like this before. So if you're enjoying it, go ahead and like spread the link or something. I don't know. I just want to try to do something like this because there's definitely not enough English coverage of Stunfest. So the biggest difference is in the Ur loop. You don't need to worry about chipping anymore. Because all enemies essentially drop as though they had 5 chips. Patterns are much more dense. All enemies will drop suicide bullets. Suicide bullets can be sealed, and if they are sealed, I think they're converted into chip value. I'm not 100% sure on that because I've never made it to Ura myself. In fact, I've never looped at all in this game. But you can see that a lot of the difficulty in Ura comes from managing those suicide bullets. And most of the main patterns are at least twice as dense as they were formerly. But he's no longer trying to 5-chip anything, he's just trying to survive, and his counter is increasing on its own. Now there's still that interplay between the kind of immediate counter, the lower counter, and the upper counter. Again, that's if you're locked onto an enemy, it will essentially multiply the value of that enemy's base value by your lower counter, and if you're not, it won't. But it'll add to the upper counter instead. So what it looks like is going on in Ura here is that there's much less emphasis on the empty locking. Instead, he's just locking things, probably partly for survival reasons, but mostly just because he doesn't need to worry about that interplay much anymore, since he gets the same amount of chips regardless of how he kills the enemy. Wow, that pattern is a lot nastier in the loop. Jesus. Okay, he didn't even care about extra chips there. He's just like, screw you. One important thing to note is that the survival bonus in Ketsui does increase the longer that you manage to maintain it. So theoretically, if you no-miss every single stage of the first loop and then every single stage of the second loop, you could get a ridiculously high score, and I think that's exactly what he's going for here. Less individual optimization on a level-by-level, case-by-case basis, but more overall optimization, trying to reduce the total number of deaths so that he has a higher multiplier in terms of his overall performance. Hang on one second, I'm just going to adjust the streaming space really quickly. I just realized I can get a little bit more screen real estate for the stream. And I'm just going to stick my little... There you go. Alright. So here we're seeing lots of unfocus. He's using the rapid fire shot almost exclusively in this section just to maneuver, and the advantage to that is, of course, that since it's got such a wide strike zone, he can use the shot to actively kill things while dodging suicide bullets. And of course, since the suicide bullets are constricting his motion so much and controlling his route to an enormous degree, that extra width on the shot is essential for navigation. So here, I think he's going to try to get the bonus enemies again, but he may not. Sometimes you see super players intentionally avoid getting the bonus enemies because of the extra suicide bullets they create, but no, not in this case. Damn, that was a nice cutback. Oh, wow. So there he led the bullets off to one edge of the screen, kind of jinked up to make a hole in them, and then dove through that hole. What's impressive is not the fact that it was a cutback, but the fact that it was cutback at that speed with that kind of bullet density and randomness. It's very difficult to do a cutback of that, in a stream that dense to start with, but when you're talking about kind of a semi-random suicide bullet pattern like that, it's very difficult to read. And he's just doing these things left and right like it's no problem at all. Lots of cutbacks in this final section here. And that nice little overhead macro there as those popcorn were going underneath him, he just pushed on top of them. Alright, time for Sphinx here. Wow, that pattern's brutal in Ura. God. Wow. Okay. So it looks like here... Yeah. Oh, wow. So these bullets behave differently in Ura. Normally those, that set of bullets converge on you directly from the sides. Here in Ura, they're chasing you and kind of following your motion as you move. It's really interesting. Oh god, that's a brutal pattern. Oh man, with the slight acceleration, pulling them out, elongating them as they go. Here with these spreads, he's just doing macro weaves between the two sides. Macro dodge, kind of going back to basic stuff because I'm new to this. Macro dodge is when you're dodging an entire pattern or an entire spread at once by moving in a large arc, whereas micro dodge is when you're moving kind of on an individual bullet-by-bullet basis within part of a larger pattern. And you see a lot of what he's doing here is more emphasizing the macro element than the micro. It reminds me of there's kind of a maxim that's been repeated several times by great super players, including Clover Tack, He famously said once, a good shooting game player does not dodge bullets, he avoids them. And what he means by that is that dodging is an active process. You are consciously trying to avoid a bullet. Avoiding means that you don't have to. It just passes by because you never had the chance to be hit by it in the first place. And at high level play like this, you really see that come into the forefront. You see that he has a route that, you know, it almost seems like he's not even dodging this stuff. It almost seems like he's just kind of moving and the bullets are where he used to be. That's the kind of routing that you come to expect from high-level superplay like this because they embrace that philosophy so completely. Once you get to this point, I'm imagining it must be like you just know the game inside and out. You know where you need to be and when you need to be there. And as a result, you don't need to think about what's happening on screen. You don't need to consciously dodge much of anything. The bullets will just pass harmlessly by because they never had a chance to hit you to start with. Yeah, Kakar, that's why I said, famously said by Clover Tack. I don't know, maybe you weren't here for that. Oh man, even suicide bullets from the turrets on Vinogradov. That's brutal. Wow! That is so much more aggressive than in the first loop. Jesus. I'm interested to see what the hell happens with this pattern. Oh, surprisingly, not that much harder at all. Note that it does still give you a 1-up in the second loop. That's one of the nice things about Ketsui is that it has two fixed extends per loop. So you actually get a total of 4 fixed lives in addition to the score-based extends, and of course, if you're good enough to loop the game, you're good enough to get both the score-based extends pretty damn early. So it gives you like 9 lives in total to play with. And as I was saying earlier, there's a very large no-miss bonus that's calculated as part of your stage score based on your stage counter, which is that upper multiplier counter that he's building with 5 chips. So I think his overall strategy with the loop here is to no-miss as much as he possibly can to get more and more and more of that overall multiplier at the end, which again is based on his stage counter. And I think for every life, it's like a full point increment in terms of how it multiplies. So I think it's like lives times bombs times score counter times something. Or like lives times 50 and bomb times 10 times score counter, or something like that. But you can see, you know, if you have 9 lives versus 8, that's 9 times however many bombs times however many points versus 8 times. So it's a huge difference in terms of your overall scoring capability. I think that's what he's going for. These wider spreads against this boss in the loop that's ridiculous. So much more aggressive. Okay, here he's just locking onto the one side again. What he's going to do is kill that first, and then... or not. Yes, okay, he's going to try to kill that first, and then he's going to kill this other one before... yeah, exactly, before it has a chance. Wow, this attack is completely different in loop. Oh, but the idea is still the same. The positioning is just slightly different. It looks like this safe spot is against the ground instead of partway up. No, he has not died yet. He has no miss to 2-3. It's, excuse me, yeah, 2-3. It's fucking insane. You do lose a little bit of overall points. You can see that score counter... I'll try to catch it again the next time that it comes up. But it's like, it's lives times something, plus bombs times something, parenthesis, times score counter. And so obviously if you have less bombs, you lose a little bit of points, but the points lost for bombs is inconsequential when compared to the points lost for lives. So I think that no missing is going to be his main goal here. Also, holy crap, these dodges on stage 4. Okay, survival bomb there. Eesh. This is amazing. Another survival bomb. He was going to go for a cutback there, but he just couldn't make it. Did he lose points just in the act of using the bomb? I actually don't remember. It might decrease your counters by a small amount. Wow, that's a fast attack. It might decrease your counters by a small amount when you use the bomb, and I know for a fact that it decreases your bomb bonus. Let's try and pay some attention the next time that he uses one, if we can catch it, or if someone feels like looking that up, that would be great. I actually don't remember off the top of my head. My apologies for that. This pattern is so much more aggressive in the loop, and here with all these kind of semi-random bullets in that middle, this kind of middle region of the pattern, it really kind of forces you to the edges. Oh wow! And that, instead of just one line, it's shooting down like 5 lines on each, 3 lines on each of the vectors that would normally be shooting down a single line. So you basically have to move between those vector paths now instead of just kind of wherever you want. Now here, as I was saying before, this is the same pattern that one of these enemies in the Stage 5 Descent uses. So he's already kind of used to that pattern, I'm sure. Oh, God, that's brutal. I have never seen the spirals from these patterns before because, like I said, I don't watch much loot play. So that's brutal. You see that he's able to dodge it much the same way that he was in the first loop, with just these very gradual taps. Oof, nice. Nice. Just these very gradual taps to one side, because it looks like the bulk of the pattern and the suicide bullet is aimed exactly at his previous location. Unlike some of these semi-random suicide bullets, those are kind of directed perfectly at him, so he's able to just tap through it all. Okay, I think he just lost some multiplier value from that bomb. I'm not sure, though. I didn't quite catch it, but I think that's what happened. Anyway, you'll never lose points outright in this game, but it will, affect your ability to gain points if you decrease your multiplier value like that. So. Wow, 407 million! Holy shit! That's amazing. I like his pull back his hands, stretch for a second, just bring it out, get right back into it as Cinderella starts, and damn, the speed on these patterns! Holy crap! And this now has 2 waves with different acceleration, so you have to dodge it in a completely different way. Yeah, look at this. Jeez. Able to kill it before it goes into the majority of that attack. So the first loop version of this attack gives you a choice. You can ooh, get right back into it. Doesn't let him phase it all. Doesn't let it phase him at all. But damn, that was. Ugh. Anyway, the first loop version of that attack, it gives you a choice between moving through the kind of the funnels created by those blue bullets or avoiding the funnels altogether. But it looks like the second loop version, trying to avoid them is much, much more difficult. Wow, that precision, that safe spot, very impressive. Unlike in the first loop, it looks like this shoots out three sets of lines from each of those points. Yeah, just kill Cinderella. Fuck that. Okay, what's this counter? So, score times live times bomb. There it is. So it's the counter times your current life count times your current bomb count. Or I don't know if it is your current bomb count. It might be your total bomb count, like this life plus every other life. So. Alright, stage 5. This should be amazing. Wow! Oh, that's awesome! So the reason that worked is that attack has one part that's aimed directly at you, kind of like this shots that are being fired from that bunker right now. There's one part that's aimed directly at you, and part that's aimed off to the left, part that's aimed off to the right of that. And so if you position yourself well enough, you can actually dodge in between that center stream and the left and right streams. Wow. So there he's close enough to that bunker that he was able to seal the suicide bullets from it so they didn't have a chance of hitting him. My guess is those have a wide sealing range, because compared to some normal enemies, it seems that's a lot more fair. Let's see if he gets lucky with the extend this time, because that was really mean that first time. Potentially jipping him out of a huge number of points. My apologies for my English is kind of tripping over itself throughout this broadcast, but I'm not really used to talking quite this fast, so my apologies. Yep, you got it there. So like I said before, you know, first loop... oh, is he? That's kind of cool. So here, he's killing this turret, coming down here, killing this front section. The reason you want to do this is because, yeah, you kill this side section, and the reason you want to do that is so that it will cancel the bullets during this next attack that the boss is about to fire. Yeah, normally what would happen there is it gets these really nasty needles. Ooh! Like that. Really nasty really nasty needle spreads. So. Oh, yeah, no, this is not me playing. I am not good at Ketsui. I'm just providing commentary to this because the commentary that's being provided is in French. So, man, that death there. Anyways, what normally happens in that extend section is that you get to kill those two helicopters that look like the player ships, and you get an extend for doing so. But the first loop here, if you missed it, the first of the planes flew off the screen. It's a glitch that occurs very rarely, but has been well documented. It just flies off the screen. You don't have a chance to kill it, and you don't get the extend from it. So. Oh man, that hurting off the edge there. That nice tapping and hurting right there, just controlling the whole screen like that. Getting right up in the face of this thing, sealing all the suicide bullets from some of the popcorn that comes out with it. Wow, Jesus, these dodges, what? What? Oh man! Oh man! Oh god, that's fucking great. This is so cool. Alright, so down here, he's able to seal the bullets from these turrets because he's so close to them, these kind of moving turrets on the ground. But he has to deal with the suicide bullets in addition to the regular fire from these popcorn. I'm curious to see how he's going to handle this section. Oh, same basic route. Same basic route, but he has to... Oh, okay. He didn't end up cutting back, he just bombed. Makes sense. I mean, that was a nasty setup. Looks like the missiles have different acceleration, and they're longer spans of missiles. Like a single line of missiles is much longer than it is in the first loop here in Ura. So here, by moving back and forth in time with the enemies, he's able to control the positioning of their suicide bullets, kind of preemptively. Oh man, so these are spawning suicide bullets practically on top of him. It doesn't look like he's able to seal those. So what he's doing is just jinking to the side, kind of, right as he's killing those helicopters in order to deal with that. And here, you notice he actually stopped firing for a second. I think that was probably to control the suicide bullet fire from the smaller turrets, which get destroyed very quickly. Alright, Ivekania, Loop 2, this is gonna be fucking awesome. Holy shit. This pattern is like twice as fast in the second loop. Jesus. Yeah, nice safe spot move. Oh man. Jesus, what? Oi. This pattern is really easy in loop 1, but loop 2, damn. So this attack was functionally the same, it just adds another line, which means you have to, it gives a different acceleration, you have to time things a little bit differently. No shit, Kagar. No shit, it's a super player, it's SPS. What are you expecting here? God damn. The different acceleration on those bullets, I mean, that's kind of a theme that we're seeing in Ura, is it's the same base pattern as Loop 1, but then you have this like second, sometimes third layer of bullets, and it's at a different acceleration. Damn, alright. Doom! 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 God damn! God damn! This is the true last boss of Ketsui. You can only get to this by clearing the Ura loop. Jesus damn!
C'est très de Donpachi comme phase là par contre.
C'est vrai, ouais. Là, la phase que de pan, tu sais, le fameux dernier pattern final qui arrive dessus.
Holy crap.
On est plus dans Ketsui, on est là un peu dans un Donpachi pour les formes de pattern et la rythmique.
Les patterns les plus dégueulasses de la terre entière, tous les patterns les plus pourris, on jette tout.
These kind of accelerating, curving bullet lines. You can practice some of these Doom patterns in a Dojin game called YGS 2000, and these patterns are incredibly frustrating. This is just unbelievable. I mean, I don't even have words. This pattern is just so incredibly complicated. Like, it's moving back and forth, and you know, bullets from the top, from the bottom, from the sides, and there's stuff curving around at you from the top. You know, I've tried it a few times in YGS 2K. I can't even understand it, and here he's just weaving through it like it's nothing. I mean, he hasn't even bombed yet to fucking Doom. What is this? Holy shit! Okay, there we go. There's a bomb. Oh man, this is kind of the last main attack that Doom uses. Is these kind of bilateral spreads of you know, it's like it shoots out these large bullets, which then shoot out tails of smaller bullets. Damn! 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 Holy shit! What the what he no missed Doom. He fucked no missed. Wait, how do you even do that? How do you even fucking do that? God. Duh. Oh my god. Holy shit. I cannot applaud realistically enough for this event, but Jesus Christ, it was amazing. Oh man. Regarding rank, yes, there is rank in this game. It basically doesn't matter. It's based on your power-up level, and just your the length of time that you play, and basically it's going to be at max by the time you reach the end anyway. So it literally does not matter. Slightly. There, ultimate applause. Or be like that one guy who can clap at like 85 hertz or whatever, but fuck that. I don't even know how fast it actually is. I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass. What's the score? It's interesting. Let's find out. It hasn't come up yet, so. Damn. God damn.
Oui, applaudissements, applaudissements au SPS, encore une fois.
So cool. So cool. How do you even know Miss Doom? That's just like, fuck. How do you do that?
Alors, pour la suite, on vous encourage à aller voir sur chemin.com plus de détails sur le scoring de Ketsui.
Oh, the rank. The rank is actually, interestingly, slightly lower on 2P side, according to Trap15, who discovered that when he was making Ketsui arrange. The functional difference it makes in terms of what, you know, what the perceived like gameplay difference in the game is basically non-existent according to his research. It just increases at an ever so slightly slower rate, but it'll still be basically max by the time you reach stage 5. And you know, rank play in Ketsui basically irrelevant. I don't even think the rank controls much of anything. It might be bullet speed, but I don't even know. 516 million. Fuck. That is. God. Yeah.
Encore les applaudissements et merci SPS qu'on trouvera demain, je crois, en plus qui aura fait un autre run. Merci beaucoup à lui. Merci aussi à l'organisation.
That's amazing.
John et Rune, tous ceux qui ont participé, tous les organisateurs aussi qui sont.
That is amazing.
Merci à tous. Et la scène aussi, la technique de la scène principale du Stunfest.
All right.
Pour tout ça.
Wow.
Et donc on reprend, nous, pour le Washoi, on reprend avec Dondon Pachi à 16h, ici même. Et en attendant,
Guillaume.
En attendant, on se repose.
He's just like, this is a shit score. I'm not even gonna bother to.
Et vous avez aussi d'autres super plays du club des sacs et de Shmup.
Kagari, you have 160 million? That's actually quite impressive. My best is 121. No, this is not the new world record. I believe the world record is... I think it might even be 600 million. So the live stream from Stunfest just went dead. So let me look that up very quickly. Hang on one second. Did you hold records? Okay, that hasn't been updated. Oh no, yes it has. The